What's up, Taiwan? I'm Tiffany Wong with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. A thick column of black smoke rose into the sky from a fire at a plastic factory in western Taiwan. 2 tons of soybean oil were consumed by the blaze, but other toxic chemicals were untouched. Everyone inside was safely evacuated, with 1 employee sent to the hospital with minor injuries. Investigators are still looking into what started the fire. People nearby were concerned by the fallout from the blaze.
塑胶微粒还是碳的。对啊，你看这都黑点。
那你在你身上会有什么感觉？
就是沾到皮肤上会很痒。
Local environment officials say the fire didn't significantly impact the air quality. A Spanish fugitive has been deported from Taiwan after hiding here for 5 years. The man is wanted by Interpol for allegedly running a car rental scam that netted him over $32 million. Immigration officials ordered him to leave the country over concerns he could threaten Taiwan's public security and social order. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called an attack launched at his home a grave mistake. Iranian state media say the drone was launched by Hezbollah, a Lebanese militant group which Iran helps fund. Hezbollah has not claimed responsibility. Netanyahu was not near his home at the time, and no casualties were reported. In a statement on social media, Netanyahu called the attack an assassination attempt and warned Iran and any proxies that anyone who tries to harm Israel's citizens will pay a heavy price. In Japan, the largest nuclear power plant in the world has been offline for over a decade. But after adding safety measures like tsunami walls, it could soon reopen. Cadence Quaranta reports.
This is the largest nuclear power plant in the world. It was able to power over 13 million households. But for over a decade, this Japanese plant has been offline. Japan closed all of its nuclear plants after a tsunami in 2011 caused reactors at its Fukushima facility to melt down, releasing radioactive materials into the air in the worst nuclear accident of the century. But this plant, the Kashiwazaki Kariwa, may soon restart 2 of its reactors, with more safety measures to protect against natural disasters.
この右手前に使用済み燃料プールがありますけれども、こちらも常に水が満水になっていることが重要でして、建物の外から直接プールの中に水を入れられるラインを新設をしました。消防車を使って水を入れますけれども、事故時もですね、常に使用済み燃料の冷却が達成できるようにしています。
The plant, located on Japan's west coast, also has a new tsunami wall, 15 meters tall. It's installed new backup power supplies and a vent to filter out radioactive particles. Learning from the 2011 disaster, when everything went dark and no one could see, glow-in-the-dark stickers have been added to parts of the facility.
あのような事故があったとしても、さまざまな安全強化を図った部分、さらに発電所構内に配備しているモバイル設備を使って、プラントへの電気の供給、さらには水の供給等ができるようになっていて、あのような事故はほとんど回避できると考えています。
Japan has already reopened at least 12 other nuclear plants across the country since 2011, trying to ramp its nuclear energy back up to reach its climate goals. Before the Fukushima disaster, around a third of Japan's electricity came from nuclear power. And when it closed its plants, it had to step up imports of other energy sources like coal, which produce greenhouse gases and pollutants when burned. But the local government still needs to approve Kashiwazaki Kariwa's reopening.
やはりその地元の理解が必要でして、いつ原子炉を起動するのか、その再稼働することについての地元の理解というものがある程度得られた状態になって、私どもは手続きをしたいと考えている。
While a reopening date has yet to be set, the plant is working to up its safety measures until it gets a green light. James Lin and Cadence Quaranta for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan's life expectancy is on the rise, with people living to an average of over 80 years in 2023. A government report shows that cancer remains the leading cause of death in the country. Excluding that, average lifespans would increase by almost 3.5 years. Without deaths from heart diseases, the average would go up by almost 1.5, and without pneumonia, by almost 1 year. Doctors say it's the first time that average life expectancy has gone up since the COVID pandemic.
新冠的疫情那段时间死掉太多人，把平均寿命整个拉下。新冠肺炎期间各国都一样的，不是只有台湾的。刚开始的死亡率是4%到6%，但是后来才变得轻微。
COVID was still the 6th leading cause of death in Taiwan last year. Environmentalists say the volume of plastic waste in Taiwan has grown far beyond expectations. As other countries work out a global plastic treaty, they want Taiwan to do more to keep waste out of landfills. John Van Trieste has this story.
Taiwan's battle against plastic waste doesn't look like it's going well. While the cabinet drew up a strategy to tackle the issue way back in 2003, environmentalists say the volume of waste has exploded, even just in the past decade.
就发现说我们的废弃物并没有减少。那台湾的废弃物产量啊，从2014年的2800多万吨上升到2023年的3300多万吨，那这远远超过了当初政府所定的目标。
The groups represented here have a few ideas about why this has happened.
成为贸易大战，所以有很多台商回流嘛，直接导致我们的制造业增加，然后事业废弃物增加。后来的新冠疫情带来短暂效应。
Much of this plastic is burnt rather than reused or recycled, and the government is planning to increase the capacity of incinerators, which currently can't keep up with the amount of waste being produced. Today, these groups are gathered to release a report they drew up with international help on this problem.
很多都是拿去当燃料烧掉。那在欧盟，就是我们废弃物处理方式的优先顺序，应该是源头减量优先，再使用、再利用。但是它的再利用包括能源回收。
In just a few weeks, diplomats from around the world will gather in South Korea for a last round of talks on a global plastic treaty. Though Taiwan is often sidelined in global affairs, these environmentalists say it's time the country steps up its fight to cut down waste from the source. Alex Chen and John Van Trieste for TaiwanPlus.
Cerebral palsy can severely impact a person's motor and verbal skills, making it almost impossible to pursue a passion for music. But as Reese Ayers reports, one workshop in Taipei is finding ways to make music accessible for all.
60-year-old Yuan Mei Fong has long had an interest in music. But due to being diagnosed with a form of cerebral palsy at 6 months old, her physical limitations made pursuing it a challenge.
我有兴趣，可是我的手没办法。我有去碰过吉他，可是这只手完全没办法。
But now she's had an opportunity to express her inner rhythm. Yuan, alongside her classmates, is learning to make music, despite the neurological disorders that affect their motor skills. The 12-week course in music production is a collaboration between the Taipei Music Center and Taiwan's Cerebral Palsy Association, offering students much more than a chance to create their own music.
就是音乐在我们的生活里面其实是垂手可得，然后我们跟音乐连结也很强，所以它会带给我们很大的安全感。
Facing different physical and vocal limitations, the students explore different ways to make their own unique sounds.
你可以把你的声音录下来，它可以成为你的乐器当中的一部分，它有的时候可以当节奏，对不对？
Already halfway through their program, the students use accessible software to produce entire songs, with help from music industry experts.
I've been trying to make them tap their feet a little bit, and try to feel the groove in the body, and try to feel it in your, just every part of your bones. I think that's the magic trick over there with music anyway, yeah.
Cerebral palsy, or CP, appears in early childhood and can vary greatly in severity. It permanently impacts movement and coordination, often affecting a person's speech functions. Through rhythm games and by manipulating a variety of musical instruments, students engage their motor skills, an important form of physical therapy for people with cerebral palsy. CP is one of the most prevalent conditions impacting movement in the world, affecting around 3.3 in every 1,000 births in Taiwan. The roughly 70,000 people living with CP in Taiwan face unique challenges throughout their entire lives.
那根据年纪的这个增长，它就有不同的挑战、不同的问题，还有不同的困难哈。像在学校里面求学，它需要有一些无障碍空间，那需要有一些课业上面的调整。
But with support and opportunities like this music production course, people like Yuan Mei Feng can pursue passions that previously felt out of reach.
希望能够有机会能够为自己创作出一首歌。
Karma Xu and Rees in Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
A small family-owned farm in California has been growing Taiwanese fruit and vegetables in a suburban backyard for over 20 years. It's become a pillar of the local community, providing a small taste of home over 10,000 kilometers away from Taiwan. Wesley Lewis reports.
Couple Liao Da-sheng and Du Fuzhen emigrated from Taiwan to Southern California over 2 decades ago. They've put down roots there, creating a new home and a small farm.
提议说我要来种菜啊，然后呢，因为有这么一大片的空地嘛，所以就是这样开始慢慢在开花。
They say they learned most of what they know about agriculture from career farmers back in Taiwan.
我每一次回台湾的时候，我都会去像农会，还是说农业专家，还是一些比较特殊的水果农场。 他们都有产销班，请教他们。台湾的天气跟这边天气差别很大，你必须要去摸索它，如何让它在这边吃的味道、口感都跟台湾一样。
The couple grow over 10 different kinds of organic fruit and vegetables, all of which are commonly found in Taiwan, but are hard to come by in the U.S.
台湾的口感，我们这边的乡亲绝对会非常喜欢，非常接受。 那尤其是莲雾在这边说职业场的莲雾在这边目前还没有。
Over the years, they have slowly introduced more new additions to their crops, including dragon fruit. Their produce has already garnered a loyal customer base.
我的女儿因为在美国生的，可是回到台湾之后吃到莲雾就好喜欢，所以后来发现这边有卖莲雾，我们就特别订了莲雾来这边买。
For now, Liao and Du don't plan on expanding their farm. They say they're satisfied with their backyard business, bringing a small piece of Taiwan to their local community in California. Joseph Wu and Wesley Lewis for TaiwanPlus.
Scientists in Colombia have developed a nutritional booster for bees, which may protect these pollinators from pesticides. Getting in their vitamins, these bees at a lab in Colombia are taking supplements that the researchers say boost their resistance to pesticides. Scientists sedate the bees, then place them in tubes to feed them the supplement. They then expose the insects to pesticides.
Una vez las exponemos a los pesticidas, en los niveles realistas, es decir, en los niveles que efectivamente se encuentran residuales en el campo, las abejas están protegidas. ¿En qué se traduce esto? En abejas que todavía aprenden bien, en abejas que se mueven bien, en abejas que toman buenas decisiones.
Scientists say the plant-based formula helps protect bees' brains from neurological damage from pesticides sprayed on crops. Bees are an important part of the ecosystem as they pollinate both wild plants and human food crops. But chemicals meant to protect crops from harmful pests could actually hurt the bees that support their growth.
Ya sabemos que hay moléculas que mejoran la salud de las abejas, ya sabemos que hay moléculas que previenen el daño neuronal causado por los pesticidas y otro montón de efectos que aún faltan por estudiar. Y tenemos la opción de seguir indagando cómo funcionan estos métodos que ya están funcionando para poder optimizarlos y para poder ya empezar a ver una mejoría.
The first tests proved effective enough that the team is now trying out the supplement in real-world situations at an apiary on campus to keep the world's busy bees buzzing. Patrick Chen and Tiffany Wong for TaiwanPlus. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow our social media for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, check out these doggies all dressed up for Halloween in a parade in New York. I'm Tiffany Wong. Take care and see you next time.